Hey folks, Lenny Lawson here, the Car Guru, and I am really trying to stay on the cutting edge of automotive news, automotive trends, the goings and comings of car dealers and all the different things that they can do to you, whether it be in the sales department, finance office, service department. Most of it's good. Most of the things that they do are good. Most of the players are good. There are some bad apples, though. I was talking to a good friend of mine and a very loyal customer about how the business has changed over the years. And she was just fussing a little bit about, how she went to this one dealership to look at a Toyota. What was it? Toyota. Oh, the van, the Sienna. And they gave her a big discount, good price. And she was in Bristol, and so she was driving back to Greenville, and she had happened to go right past the Toyota dealership in Johnson City. And she saw this big row of Toyota Siennas, so she pulled in, and salesperson waited on her, and they ended up giving her a price on one that they had. It happened to be lower than the one that the other dealer in Bristol had given her. Not much, but it was a little bit lower. And so she called them and said, "Hey, I'm coming back to get my deposit check." And they said, "Well, can we ask why?" "Well, I found one cheaper in Johnson City." "Well, ma'am, could we possibly maybe talk about reducing the price a little bit?" "No, absolutely not." She said she would not give them a chance to meet the price in Johnson City or to beat the price in Johnson City. And I'm sitting there looking at her. And I'm saying, "Now," and then I said her name, "is that really fair?" I mean, I'm thinking about this. She left a deposit at the dealership in Bristol. Shouldn't she have just driven right past that Toyota dealership in Johnson City and gone home? I mean, what is a deposit? To me, it's kind of a promise, isn't it? That I'm wanting to buy this vehicle. Would you hold it for me? I mean, that's what it is. But the promise is broken when you continue to shop. Is that okay? Does that fit with your values and morals? The way I feel about it is, would I have stopped? I don't know if I would have. If I'd seen that big row of Siennas there and actually saw the color that I really wanted and the dealership in Bristol didn't have it, then yeah, I might pull in. But by golly, I'm going to give that dealer in Bristol the first shot to earn my business. I'm going to call him back and say, "Listen, I found the color I want, Johnson City, and I stuck around there, and they ended up giving me a really good price, but I talked to you first, and I did leave a deposit. I think just see what you can do. I'd rather try to buy it from you guys since you were so nice." To me, that's what you should do. But a lot of people don't look at car dealers like they owe them anything. Are you like that? See, I don't just look at them as just being car dealers. I look at them as being humans, human beings. Yes, many of them are flawed. We all are, right? We all have our flaws, and we all have our little idiosyncrasies. But, a promise is a promise, and I think we ought to try to stick to that. How do you feel? I mean, if you were having a yard sale at your house, and you had a pretty green wheelbarrow, and you're asking $25 for it, somebody left you a $5 deposit. "Hold this for me as I go home to get the rest of my money." You say, "Well, sure." Well, in the meantime, there's 3 or 4 other people come by and they say, "Yeah, how much for the wheelbarrow?" "Oh, it's already sold." "Oh, okay." And then that happens, and then the person shows back up, says, "Can I have my $5 deposit back on the wheelbarrow?" "How come?" "Well, I was driving home and I saw another yard sale, and they had a red wheelbarrow, and it was $20, so I just decided to buy it." But you left a deposit on mine. I know, but, you going to do the right thing or not? Well, what is the right thing? She passed up on 4 other wheelbarrow sales that she could have had just for you. I know what I'd tell them. Well, you don't have to buy my wheelbarrow, but I appreciate you leaving me the $5 because I'm keeping it. I'll be right back. I like old sayings sometimes. I like this one especially. What goes around comes around. Or is it what comes around goes around? Whatever it is. You know what I mean. If you do a good deed to somebody, then more than likely, if you ever need to talk to that person again or deal with that person again, they'll do the good deed back. And I think when people are dishonest, when it comes to the way they do business, the way they interact with other human beings, that it will come back to haunt them. And that's one of the things that I have been very watchful about, and my dad taught me early on to live up to your promises. Your integrity is all you have in the end. When you pare it all down, you get rid of everything else. What kind of person you are, what kind of standards you hold, says a lot, says everything really about you. And it allows other people to feel comfortable doing business with you. I have been through some pretty difficult business times in my life. And during some of those times, there were certain bankers that I needed that really didn't want to do business with me when I was hurting. As long as I was doing well, sure, we'll loan you money, no problem. But when I really needed them, they said, the business climate doesn't look that good. We're not 100% confident in the car business. Again, they would come up with all kinds of excuses. But there was this one particular bank that said, Lenny Lawson, we believe in you. It's not just the business, and it's not just the industry as a whole or your business and the way things look now. We believe that you will make this loan good, that you will pay us back. And they were there for me. They stood up for me. I'm not going to name the bank here. It is a local Tri-Cities bank. But I will be forever loyal to them because of what they did for me when I really needed them. And that happens in a car dealership as well. When you buy a car, everything is just so happy. The salespeople are all happy. The sales managers are giving everybody high fives, including the buyer. And, they give you balloons and take your picture. And then you have a problem. You've been waiting for 30 days to get your tags, and your temporary tag is getting ready to run out tomorrow. You call the dealership and say, where are my tags? I need, my temp tag is running out. Oh, let me check. And then, they forget to call you back, or they end up calling you back and say, well, they're still not here. And you say, well, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to just park my vehicle? Oh, no, you can come in and get another temporary tag. They just don't make it convenient. And plus, the floor mats that they said they were going to get you, those have never showed up. Salesperson forgot to order them. And then you come in for your first free oil change, and they present you with a bill, and you say, I thought it was free. And they say, oh, this is one of those. Okay, no problem. We'll figure it out. You just go ahead. Here's your keys. No apology. No gratitude, for your being there. It's sad. That's the state of affairs in a lot of car dealerships. A lot of businesses. I say car dealerships, that's what I do. But it's a lot of businesses, a lot of people that they have on their front lines. They couldn't care less whether you do business with them. They don't own the place. And sometimes I think even if they did, I've seen some pretty sour owners before. And they take you for granted. They don't wait on you very quickly. And when they finally do look up at you, it's with a scowl, like you just kicked their cat. I mean, it's just it's very common, and I guess that's maybe because of the world we live in. Really, should that matter, though? Should the world we live in matter about how you treat other humans in your personal interactions with them? I'll tell you one thing. When I get a good greeting, when I walk into a doctor's office and the people smile at you and they're happy to see you, hope you're doing well, ask about your family, and then you go sit in the waiting room and you don't have to wait for 2 hours to get waited on. You get back there in about 5 minutes, and again, they know you, they know your name. That is just so comforting to me. And then I go into some other doctor's office, maybe down in Knoxville, where I have to go see a specialist or something like that, and I just feel like I'm cattle, just a number. You know, I'm waiting for the electronic thing that they shock cows with to hit me in the rear end as I'm walking down the hallway. I mean, there's just no real customer service there. Does that matter to you? Does it make a difference? You know, we vote with our dollars, and the dollars follow the businesses that care about their customers. Again, I bring up the PALS organization. I was reading, well, I've got this book right here. It's called PALS. It's a small little book. It's autographed by Pal Barker. It says, "Lenny, welcome to our Total Quality Management class." I went to their class up in Kingsport. What's a car dealer going to a class being run by a fast food joint? Well, because these people know how to do business. They know how to treat their employees. They know how to hire the right people. They know how to be consistent as far as quality, keeping costs down. They know how to maintain their facilities. At this particular time, let's see, when this book was written, they had 7 restaurants. It was written by Pal. They had 7 restaurants, and they talked about how they kept refining their system and their performance, and it's very impressive book. And I read it and share it with my salespeople, because excellence is not limited to a particular type of business. It is available to everybody in any business. They have to find out first, what does the customer want? And then how can we deliver that in an efficient and effective way to keep them coming back and to maintain an acceptable profit margin? Because it's not a charity. It's a business. And the workers want to get paid a good wage. The owners, the people that have money at risk, want to make a good return on their investment. And trust me, the people at PALS do well. I call it engineered for excellence. It's the way their business is built. And it's not easy. You know, you can't just put up a hot dog stand and make the kind of money those people make. There is no way. And the loyalty to them, it's amazing. And so I brought this back. It's raining outside. You might be able to hear it on my metal roof that leaks like crazy. Yeah, I brought this back for my employees, and we read this book. Yep, we sat in a meeting, and we didn't read it all at once. We took about a week to go through the entire book, and we had some really good discussions about it. And I finally convinced my people that it's not the product, it's not what you're selling, it's how you run your business and how effectively and efficiently you deliver that product to your employees, to your customers, so that they love you and want to come back. Now, we've been in business for 55 years now in Greenville, Tennessee. And it's a small town. We probably have 18,000 population, probably approaching 80,000 in the county. We're about 30 miles from Johnson City, 30 miles from Morristown, much larger towns on either side of us. And for some reason or another, we've been able to make a living selling thousands and thousands of vehicles for 55 years. And it's not been easy. We've been up and down, just like through economic circumstances that everybody has faced. But there's 2 things that we have always done. And number 1 is treat your employees right. And in reality, you have to put them first, because happy employees will deliver happy service. Angry, spoiled, bitter employees who don't feel like they're getting paid enough, who don't feel like anybody listens to them, and nobody does, they don't deliver a high quality of service. So you got to put them first. And then, at close second, I mean really close, come the customers. And the customers have to be wowed. W-O-W-E-D, or W-O-W-D. You got to wow them. You got to give them a great experience. And that's hard, especially when you're dealing with manufacturers who won't send you enough product. And, you've got cars that aren't absolutely perfect. None of them are. I don't care if you're talking about a Mercedes or a Lexus or a Porsche or a Ford Fiesta. They all break. It's not a question of whether they are going to break or not. It's a question of when and what you're going to do about it when they do. And what's that experience like? I mean, one of the things that has really saved us over the years is we invest a lot of money in service. We buy the best equipment. We have the best facilities. It's one of the main reasons that when we built this dealership, I decided to air condition the service department. You talk about a big bill every month. That's big. Now, we don't have to run it in the winter, but we certainly do it when the temperatures are over 90 degrees or 85 degrees. You know what that does? Of course you do. Comfortable technicians can concentrate better. They'll do a higher quality level of work when sweat isn't dripping into their eyes. That's a hard job. I want them to be cool and comfortable because I want them to fix your car right the first time. So you've got employee expectations and you've got customer expectations. They don't always overlap, but if you let either one of them down, you're going to lose. If your technicians are unhappy, they're not going to do high quality service. They're going to have comebacks. They're going to take too long. They're going to order the wrong parts. There's so many different things that can go wrong. But a technician that's really dialed in, that's happy and, well, maybe not happy, but content and comfortable, then they'll do quality work, more quality work. Are they going to have a comeback every now and then? Yes, they're going to at any store. But it's a rarity. And then the customer, their expectations, they want their car fixed. They want it fixed promptly. They want to know what it's going to cost if they have to pay for it. If it's under warranty, they don't want to have to worry about it. They want your facilities to be clean, your bathrooms to be clean, the coffee to be hot. They just want a good atmosphere if they have to wait. And then if they're not going to wait, they want frequent updates on the status of their vehicle. I've never thought that it's the customer's responsibility to keep themselves updated on the repair status. No, that's the service advisor's responsibility. We have to be proactive. We call them. We text them with updates at their preference. If they want text messages, we do that. If they want phone calls, we do that. If they don't want anything, we can do that too. But when we promise that the car is going to be ready at 3 o'clock on a Thursday, it needs to be ready at 3 o'clock because they have a life. And we do not want to negatively interfere in their life. And we certainly do when we mess up any aspect of their car life. They want it back, and they want it back right, and they don't want to have to bring it back again. It doesn't matter how many cookies that you send them or nice notices or requests for them to give you good Google ratings if you do a bad job and you don't live up to your promises. Okay, I'll be back in just 1 minute. Okay, enough business philosophy for today. Sometimes I get a lot of requests for that. One of the things that I think about is that what are your expectations as a customer, and when they are not delivered to you, what is your responsibility? Most people would say, I don't have any responsibility. I just go somewhere else. Well, again, being a human, it might be nice to find a manager and tell them what happened to you. And this allows them to improve their business, so the next time you do business with them, it's better. There's nothing wrong with that. It may not be any of your business other than the fact that maybe you like the store and you like their product and you'd prefer to do business with them. And if they're screwing up in some way, they really do need to know about it. You know, sometimes your complaint may not be received, I guess, with the right spirit. And a lot of that has to do with the workload that those people are under and the mindset that they're in. You know, sometimes it's hard to shift gears when you go from 110 miles an hour and all of a sudden you have to slow way down and listen to a suggestion or a complaint. Sometimes they don't write it down and they don't receive it in the spirit that you wish they would. But they hear it, and maybe it'll come up in their next manager's meeting, or maybe they jump right on it right now. Every time I get a complaint, I thank the customer because they're doing me a favor. Because what they're doing is they're saying, hey, if you fix this, I'll keep coming back to you. If you fix this, you will continue to receive my money in exchange for what you do. And to me, that is something to be grateful for. And I'm also grateful for you, my listening audience. If you have any issues that have to do with your car life, feel free to let me know. Just send me a text with your question, 423-552-2020, or send me an email to LennyLawson2020@gmail.com. And I'll see you on the next edition of My Car Guru.